And how we are going to run in the sense, so either we can run the entire feature file. So whatever the test case which is available inside the Amazon feature, demo feature and Salesforce login page validation feature and the sample feature, we can run all the scenarios mapped in the feature file in the single shot, or you can run the specific feature file, or you can run the specific test, or you can run the group of test. So now let's see how we can run the specific test. So let's say, so I need to run the specific test called as an error message validation. Okay, so how we are going to run in the sense, so in order to run this specific test, so we need to provide something called as a tag. So like in a social network, so we will be using some hashtag. So whenever we use the respective hashtag, so the photos or videos posted related to the hashtags will be populated. In similar way, like we are going to add some hashtags on our own, so which we technically called as an tags. Okay, so we are going to add a tags. So the tags can be either it can be unique to specific scenario, or it can be like common to multiple scenario. So now let's say, so like, yeah, for this scenario called as an error message, I'm going to add a tag. So basically we need to add the tag above the scenario keyword. So the tag should be add above the scenario keyword. And how we are going to provide the tag in the sense, with the help of the symbol called as an at. Okay, so just I'm using the keyword called as an symbol called as an at, and I'm just providing tag of my own. So let's say I'm just giving the tag name as dry run. So now we need to specify this tag name in the runner file so that the particular test case, the particular scenario will execute. And how we are going to map this tag name in the sense, so inside the runner, so we are having another method called as an tag method, and with the help of the tag method we can map the respective tag. So whenever we are providing another method, so we should at the end of the another method we should always add at the comma. So now suppose that I'm just doing the control space from the suggestion, so I'm selecting this tags method. So now if you notice the tags method, it is mentioned as a double quotes. So the double quotes generally indicates the string. So which means like we can provide only one tag at the time. We can't provide a multiple tag. Okay, so now I'm providing the tag. So what is the tag we have created? So the tag which we have created called as an like at dry run. I'm just using the tag called as an at dry run. So like what happened? So now whenever we provide the tag, it will scan the tag in the feature file location. It will scan the Amazon.feature, demo.feature and sample.feature. Wherever the tag matches, it will execute the scenario below the tag. So now let me try to run this particular scenario. So how we are going to run in the sense, with the help of the runner. So I'm just navigating to the runner. So right click on it and then I'm just clicking on run runner. Now let's see, so like whether it is picking the particular test or not. So now we haven't mapped the automation coding. So we will be mapping the automation coding in the later part of the class today. So we are just ensuring that whether the mapping is done correctly or not. So whether we have mapped the feature file and whether we have mapped the step definition file and whether the runner is working as expected. So just we are ensuring that, and post that, so we are going to customize accordingly. Okay, so now it is starting the runner file and the test is initializing, and if you see, so it is executing the runner inside the package test runner.runner, and it has picked the scenario called as an login page of Salesforce. So which means like it has picked the specific scenario. Now let me just open the runner again. So it has picked the scenario called as a login page of Salesforce, so which is nothing but, so in this feature file it has picked this feature called as a login page of Salesforce, and under which it has picked the error message validation with invalid credit. So it means like it has picked this particular scenario, and then it will execute the given when and then step. So now there are multiple errors, so let us just ignore the errors because like we haven't done the proper mapping of the coding. So just we are ensuring that like whether it is working as expected or not, or probably like what I will do, I will delete the coding, whatever the coding I have done. So I'm just deleting the code so we can map the coding at the later part. So now let us ensure like whether the skeleton structure is working as expected or not. So now I'm going to provide another new tag called as an SC02, or else like uh, let's have the tag name as an SC01. So the SC01 indicates the scenario 1. It's called as a scenario 2. If I need to execute the scenario 2, so I can provide the tag called as an at SC02 in my tags method. And if I just right click and execute this runner, now for sure it should pick the scenario called as an login validation with valid credit. Okay, and one more thing is like for a single scenario, so we can use multiple tags as well. So now let's see, like it has picked the feature file called as an login page of Salesforce, and under which it has executed the scenario called as an login validation with valid credential. So because like we have provided some unique tag, as it is of an unique tag, so it is mapped only to this particular scenario. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some common tag. So let's say, so I'm just adding as it is of a regression test, I'm just adding the tag called as an, okay, so regression. So these tags are purely user defined, so we don't have any like pre-built tags. Okay, it's purely user defined. So for a single scenario, so we can map multiple tags. Okay, because whenever we map the multiple tags, we can execute the group of scenarios in a single shot. So now if I provide the tag called as an at runner, and if I try to right click and run this runner file, so now it should pick two scenarios. So the two scenarios which is present inside the login page should execute. So now let's see whether it is picking the two scenarios or not. So it is initializing the test. So you could see it has picked the two scenario, error message validation as well as the login validation, because the tag is present like above the two scenarios. So what happened when we provide the wrong tag? Let's say I'm providing the wrong tag called as an Aravind, and now let me just try to run this runner. So for sure the tag won't be present, and it won't pick any test case. Okay, so now let's see so how it is behaving. So it will initiate the runner, pose that the execution won't happen. So the reason is like because the particular tag is not present, which is the tag we haven't mapped this tag in to any of the scenarios. So whenever the runner is not working, so please check the tag name. And another common mistake everyone used to do is like whenever the mapping the tag name, they forget to provide the symbol called as an at in the runner file. Okay, so now I'm providing the valid tag. So but I'm providing the invalid feature file path. So let's say I'm just providing the invalid feature file path, and I'm trying to initiate the runner, and let us see so whether it is picking the particular test case or not. So now what happened, it will throw the initialization error. So whenever the initialization error occurs, it purely indicates you have provided the wrong path either in the feature file or in the glue file. So we could see it's throwing an exception called as an illegal argument exception. So I already told what is meant by argument. Argument is nothing but the input which we are injecting. So which is nothing but the whatever we are mentioning in the double quotes, we call it as an argument, and it is showing this is the path. So and if you just look over the path, it's showing the feature file is not present in this particular path. Okay, and also like if you wish to see the line of the code, you can just scroll to the down and you can just see in which line it is getting the error. So now whenever the initialization error occurs, it purely indicates if you have provided the wrong path. So whenever the runner doesn't run, which indicates you have provided the wrong tag. Okay, so now what I'm doing in the Amazon.feature, I'm just providing the tag. So let's say the tag be the Amazon, but we haven't mapped any of the test steps. So these are the statements we have created, but we haven't mapped the steps. So now let me try to run this particular scenario and let's see how it is behaving. So now it is picking the particular scenario called as an homepage validation of Amazon. That is correct. And it has picked the scenario called as an user validate, but it is throwing the error. If you look over the error, it states that io.cucumber.junit.undefined steps exception. Okay, so what is mean by undefined steps exception? So even this is the message we get as a suggestions. So whenever we hover over the unmapped statements, so if I hover over the statement, it says undefined step reference. So which means like it is showing the similar exception called as an undefined step exception. So which means it's purely indicates the user haven't mapped the respective statement in the step definition file. So before executing any of the scenarios, so we should ensure whether the user has mapped everything in a step definition file or not. So as of now, it shows it's an invalid. It shows undefined step exception, and even it is providing us a suggestions. So stating that just map this particular given when and then statements in your coding. So what we can do? So either we can directly copy the suggestions from the console and you can implement in the step definition. Okay, either you can directly copy paste from the console and you can implement inside it. So there are multiple ways to add the step definition step. So either you can create manually, so either you can create from the suggestions, or whenever you are executing, if the particular step is unmapped, then in the console it will provide us the suggestions. So in that there will be a keyword called as an throws new IO. So always remove that line, and then you can just start amending your code accordingly. And if you notice, the method name will be same that of the statement name. So please rename the method name. And my advice is so always don't use this underscore in the method name. So always follow the naming conversion. So the method name should be camel case. Okay. And other thing is so either you can map the steps either in a single class file or in a multiple class file. So even if I'm just going to create a another class file, so let it be new. Okay, so I'm just entering. So if you see, initially we have mapped the given and then all the statement in a single class file. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just like cut this then statement. I'm just pasting in the new class, but still what happened, the relationship will be established. Okay, so even like if I open this Salesforce automation, so the given statement will be present in one class, the when will be in one class, un will be in one class, and then will be in the separate class. So even if it is present in a separate class, the mapping will be established. So the reason is like because it's purely worked on the basis of an annotation. So it will scan the entire project where the annotation matches. So which means while executing the then statement, it will check at then annotation in various places. So like wherever the at then annotation is present, it will execute the immediate method below it. Okay. So and then what others used to do in the sense, so they may do the duplicate mapping. So duplicate mapping in the sense, so as of now, so we have mapped this then statement in this new class. So if I map the same then statement in another class, so now we have mapped this particular statement twice. So which means it indicates it's a duplicate step definition. So basically, we should not provide the duplicate step definition because like if I just if I over this mouse, it shows multiple implementations. So whenever there is a multiple implementation, it will throw an error while executing. So let's say, let me just try to run this scenario one. Okay, I'm just opening this runner and just updating the tag called as in scenario one, and I'm just trying to run the runner. So we have voluntarily map the duplicate step. So let's see how the runner handles. You could see it is not initiating the execution, and it will throw the error called as an duplicate step definition exception. Okay, and then you can see like what is the duplicate step. It says like these are the two duplicate method which are available under the new class. We are having this duplicate method, and also like under the Salesforce code we are having the duplicate method. Then we should remove the duplicate method. So whenever you are mapping, so please ensure so there should not be any duplicate method. Okay, so as of now, let me have everything in a single class file and post that in the upcoming session, so we can map each and everything in the different class file. Okay, so we can map the statement either in a single class file or a multiple class file. And also, like we can reuse the same statement in various feature file as well. So for example, here I'm mapping the then statement called as a user validate the error message. So I can reuse the same step here. So that is the advantage of the framework. The level of reusability will be increased. So rather than duplicating the code, so we will be reusing the same code. So when we code in a framework, so the reusability level will be increased. Okay, so this is how like we will be framing the Cucumber framework, and then we are going to map the automation coding accordingly. So till this point, does anyone have any doubt?